In a small village nestled between towering mountains, there lived a young man named Rio. He was a hard-working farmer, tending to his fields with diligence and care, but he often felt burdened by the weight of his responsibilities. The village was beautiful, surrounded by lush forests and rivers, but the pressure to succeed, to meet the expectations of others, and to ensure the survival of his family weighed heavily on his heart. One day, while walking near the river to gather water for his crops, Rio came across an old man sitting by the water's edge. His long gray beard flowed like the river itself, and his eyes held a calmness that Rio envied. "Why do you look so troubled, young man?" the old man asked, his voice like the rustle of leaves. Rio paused and sighed. "I feel as if I'm carrying the weight of the world on my shoulders. Every day is a struggle. I have so much to do, and I feel overwhelmed by it all." The old man nodded slowly. "I understand, but let me show you something." He reached down and picked up a small pebble from the ground. It was no larger than the tip of his thumb. The old man handed it to Rio. "Take this pebble," he said, "and hold it in your hand as you walk back to your field. Walk as far as you can without dropping it." Rio was puzzled but agreed. He took the pebble and placed it in his hand. As he walked back toward his field, he thought little of it. But soon, he began to feel the weight of the pebble. It seemed so small, yet in his hand, it grew heavier with every step. At first, it was light and manageable, but as he continued on, his hand began to ache. He felt the pebble pressing down on his palm, and soon, his arm felt tired. By the time Rio reached his field, he was exhausted. He dropped the pebble on the ground, relieved to be free of its weight. The old man was waiting for him by the edge of the field, smiling gently. "Tell me, how did the pebble feel?" Rio looked up, still breathing heavily. "It was small, but it became so heavy. I could barely carry it. It started to feel like it was pressing down on me more and more as I walked." The old man nodded. "And yet, it was just a single pebble. Imagine how many pebbles you carry in your mind each day. Small worries, tasks, regrets, expectations. Alone, they don't seem like much, but when you carry them all at once, they can weigh you down." Rio stood in silence, his mind racing with realization. The old man's words echoed in his thoughts. He had been carrying countless worries, each one like a small pebble, but together, they had become an unbearable load. The old man continued, "The weight of a single pebble is not in the pebble itself, but in how much we allow it to affect us. We must learn to let go of the small burdens before they grow heavy." Rio nodded, a sense of understanding washing over him. "How do I let go?" The old man smiled. "By realizing that not everything requires your attention. The worries, the tasks, the expectations. Don't carry them all at once. Set down the small burdens when they become too much, and you'll find that the weight you carry in life becomes much lighter." Rio stood there for a moment, feeling a profound shift within himself. He looked down at the pebble in his hand, now insignificant in comparison to the weight of his thoughts. Slowly, he placed it on the ground, feeling a sense of lightness he hadn't felt in a long time. As he walked back to his field, he walked with a newfound sense of peace. The burdens didn't disappear, but now he understood that they didn't need to be carried all at once. One step at a time, he would deal with each pebble, one by one. Core lesson. The weight of a single pebble may seem small, but when we carry too many small burdens, they can become overwhelming. Learning to let go of unnecessary worries and focus on one thing at a time can bring relief and clarity.